everyone. I'm Elisa Forman, and I am one of your child's kindergarten teachers this year. His or her other teacher is Miss Crawford, and I'll let her introduce herself.
Hello, I'm Miss Crawford. I'm so excited and looking forward to meeting you as well as your little ones. Back to Miss Forman.
I'm a little biased, but I have to say your child has the best team in Cincinnati. All right, so what I'd like to do is I'd like to go over a slideshow that I typically go over at an orientation. And we're going to go over the slideshow to give you some insight on what the year holds and so just some different policies. I've added a couple of slides for virtual, which right now is for 5 weeks, and then we'll see where it takes us from there. Once you get into your child's Schoology account, this video will be posted there for your reference because there will be a lot of reference points throughout that you might want to go back and look at. Let me go ahead. All right. Let me see. Oh, okay. Sorry about that. As you can see, technology is one of the areas I am working on, and so I will definitely do my best to answer any tech questions you have, but this is definitely an area where I am learning. Spring online teaching taught me a whole lot. I've taken hours upon hours worth of training, but there are still some things that I am working on in the technology department. So please bear with me. Okay, so we're looking at kindergarten for the 2021 school year. So exciting to have all your babies, our babies. And yes, they are still babies in our eyes. I went to the University of Cincinnati for my undergraduate, Northern Kentucky for my master's, and then went back to UC for a reading endorsement. I also have national board certification in early childhood, birth to age 8. This is my 26th year of teaching. I've had many, many of your children before, so you probably already know that, and I absolutely love kindergarten, my favorite year. I've taught kindergarten, first, second, and third throughout my career, but definitely keep coming back to kindergarten. Miss Crawford has her early childhood education degree from Cincinnati State. She also loves, loves, loves children, and she loves to travel and riding her motorcycle. She has a Harley, which is pink. Your kids probably will see it if we start school because she brings it on show and tell day. Supplies. Each one of you before the whole virtual situation should have received a packet with the district, our specific supply list. Some of you ordered the kits, which I do have. Others of you were going to pick them up on your own. Right now, we are going to keep the kits here until we come back to school. And the district has provided some supplies for you, actually your child, that I will pass out on Monday when you come in to pick up your supplies. In those supply bags, we as a kindergarten supplemented a little bit and added some extra supplies of our own, crayons, glue, and a fat pencil. One of the developmentally appropriate tasks we like to use are the thicker first pencils rather than the number 2 pencils. And the kit actually had a number 2 pencil set in it. So we added in that fat, my first pencil. But we're asking for 2 additional supplies for you to use at your at-home learning. A pair of Fiskars scissors, which actually was on our original supply list for homework anyway. And we do like Fiskars because they tend to help the kids learn quicker with the cutting because they are definitely the most accurate and precise without being a hazard to them. And 1 pack of multicolored construction paper. That will be used in a lot of the crafts and things that we're doing while your kids are at home. All right, in our curriculum, we'd have reading, writing, social studies, math, and science. That is our basic curriculum when we're in person, and it will also be the curriculum at home. This is our schedule. Each day we will have 7:20 to 8:15 office hours where you can feel free to contact me via email, phone, and I'll give you those contacts later in the slideshow. At 8:15, we're going to have a morning meeting. It is mandatory per Cincinnati Public Schools that your child gets on. I will be taking attendance each day at that time. If they are not on, they will be considered absent per CPS policy. And then we will be teaching from 8:30 to 9:15 a live reading and writing lesson with your child. Then from 9 to 10:05, they will be doing some independent work. That would be like some kind of paper pencil type work or some other type of work that we give them that relates to reading. So then from 10:05 to 10:45, they will have their specials. At 10:45 to 11:30, they will work on writing, fine motor, and this will be independent work as well. And during this time slot, I will be online in small groups or at the beginning of the year, one-on-one to do my initial testing. So I will set that up where your child will get on with me one-on-one and we will do the initial CRAE testing that the state requires, possibly DIBELS. We haven't heard if that's going to be a requirement or not, and those kind of things. Now, we will continue independent time until I can finish those. You will have Ms. Crawford doing independent time, and you will have myself doing independent time with your child during the first few weeks of school, during those hours. Then they will have their school-wide lunch and recess, and then after the school-wide lunch and recess at 12:15, we're going to get back on for a live math lesson. This is where I will also take attendance per CPS policy. I will be checking in with each child to make sure they're there and then also doing my math instruction. We're going to do calendar math as well as just skill introduction and review at that time. Then from 12:45 to 1:30, they'll be doing independent math work, which will be some kind of an activity or a paper pencil type work that goes along with the lesson that we've taught. Now at 1:30 to 1:50, we typically in kindergarten believe gross motor is very, very important. So we have 2 recesses in kindergarten here at Hyde Park School. That will be your child's time to have a second gross motor activity. Whether you do a go noodle on the TV, whether you have them go outside in the backyard and play a game with siblings or yourself or babysitter, whoever's with them. And then at 1:50 to 2:20, we have a choice time board. In school, we would have choice time where they would go around the room and pick different learning activities. Obviously, that's not the case at home. So we have developed a choice time board in hopes that they can have some choice in their education and choose some activities that interest them. We also will have office hours where you can contact us. And again, I will give you that contact information later in the slideshow. Thursdays, our schedule is going to be different. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, that will be our schedule. Thursdays, we will be doing all science and social studies. Science and social studies here at Hyde Park Kindergarten is integrated in with reading and math sometimes as well. So you will also be getting literature, more so nonfiction literature, and we will be doing different hands-on lessons, experiments, those kind of things during that Thursday block. In reading, Wit and Wisdom is the adopted reading program, and Foundations is the adopted phonics and phonemic awareness program. We implemented these last year for the first time, so this will be our second year using those programs. We supplement with books, phonemic awareness, phonics, and spelling patterns that may be what we bring to the plate once we see where kids are, what they need, where the gaps are. We need to fill in their learning. Comprehension and deeper thinking are also something that we do a lot of. And also, like I said before, we integrated on Thursdays into the science and social studies block. As far as writing goes, we start off with handwriting. Lots and lots of research showing how important handwriting is and the fine motor skills are. A lot of our youth of today, due to iPads, due to video games, their fine motor skills maybe aren't as developed as maybe 5-10 years ago. So that is an area that we definitely will be working on. We will move on to labeling and ordering words and sentences from there, and then writing sentences on their own and writing stories through Lucy Calkins' Writer's Workshop. Writer's Workshop is a school-adopted program, not a district-adopted program. But a few years ago, I went to New York for a week-long conference run by Lucy Calkins, and learned how to implement her amazing writing program. Since I have started with her, I have gotten writing that I have never seen out of kindergartners before in my life. Full-blown 3 to 4 connected sentence stories, just wonderful. So hopefully, if we're back in school, we'll be able to implement that and do a great job with their writing. Rubrics are typically used to assess the writing. In social studies, we're going to be learning through trade books and the district-wide curriculum. A lot of times we do journals, and with those we would have rubrics. Some of our topics include rules, needs and wants, symbols of our United States, community helpers, all about me, and different cultures around the world. In science, again, we integrate that and we add a lot of hands-on experiments. Hopefully we can do that once we get back to school. And we use journals to develop deeper thinking and reflect on what we have done in the class that was hands-on. We're going to start off with what is scientist, what is science, what is a scientist, and what do they do? And using their 5 senses, we talk about weather and the seasons, living and non-living, animals and their adaptations, which is my favorite unit, and life cycles at the end of the year. Questioning, higher level questioning is really important for us during this topic. In math, we have adopted a new series, which I've been training on all spring and summer. It's called Ready Classroom, so please bear with me. It has an online component that I'm still learning along with the other kindergarten teachers, and we are going to probably use trial and error with that. We'll try something. If it works, great. If it doesn't, we might take a step back and revamp. Just know ahead of time, we are absolutely doing our best in what we think is the most developmentally appropriate. If it's not working, if it's too easy, if it's too hard, we will step back and adjust. Every program is built for the masses, and until you know your individual class and students, it can be challenging to see how that program fits in with that particular class that particular year. Calendar math is a wonderful time that the kids absolutely love in class, and hopefully they will online as well, but it fills in a lot of the gaps that some of these series do not address. A lot of skills that are needed to go to first grade and to conceptualize number sense. So we'll be working with that each day as well. Number sense is our be-all, end-all over writing concept. We do measurement, we do some shapes and geometry, but overall the bulk of the year will be on number sense. The beginning of the year will be spent on the numbers 0 to 10. It's going to seem like it's a very, very long time, but what we're doing is delving very deep into the numbers 0 to 10, and therefore it takes a long time. It might seem monotonous, it might seem easy, but the more and more we ingrain this in their brain, the more and more they really deeply understand the concepts that we're asking them to understand with the numbers 1 to 10. And the research, again, has shown that later years, this helps them with algebra. This helps them with their geometry in the future. All those ingrained conceptual thinking that we can get in there now, and then they build and build and build throughout the grades. As far as assessments go, we do running records, which is individually assess their reading. We do dibbles, depending on if the state is asking us to do that again this year, which is a phonics and phonemic awareness assessment that is given 3 times a year. We give the MAP test, which is a computer-based test, and we're still waiting on guidance from the state as far as remote learning. And the CRAE, which is the Kindergarten Readiness Assessment. That's the assessment that we will be giving your child at the beginning of the year. The state has already said that we are giving an abbreviated version of that because it's very difficult to give if you're not live in person with the student. So we will be giving the components and parts that we can. I also have my own independent assessment that I have developed for online learning that I think will be easier for me to understand what your child knows, where their gaps are, and where we need to begin. This is an example of a rubric. We talked a little bit about rubrics, and this was our handwriting rubric. And your child will earn a star, a happy face, a flat face, or a sad face. Star and happy face are both great. Flat face means I just need to work a little bit more on this skill till I solidify it. And a sad face typically means your child didn't try, they didn't complete the work, or they just don't have a real deep understanding of what I'm asking them to do. As far as behavior goes, we use positive behavior support system in here. Ms. Crawford and I run this classroom extremely in the positive role. Negative behaviors do hold consequences in here because we do believe children need to be held accountable for their actions. But on the whole, most everything we do in here is based on positive, and at least in the past, we've had great success with the climate and the behavior in our classrooms. So hopefully that'll be the case again this year. Lots and lots of positive rewards for good behavior. The student virtual expectations. Now this is all new to me. So this is something I developed in thinking about what the first 5 weeks and possibly longer are going to be like. The expectation is that your child is logged in to the 2 meetings each day that are required by the Cincinnati Public Schools. I would like them to try to log in 1 to 2 minutes prior to the start, but no more than 5 minutes. I will not be on there 5 minutes prior to the start. 1 to 2 minutes gives you time to troubleshoot if for some reason the audio is not working, if it's not logging in, your internet is being glitchy, whatever that might look like. And I'm sure lots of crazy stuff is going to be happening this year. Children need to be looking at the screen and watching and listening as I am trying to teach, Ms. Crawford's trying to teach. They're sitting up, they're actively participating when necessary, and they have all the materials ready and close to them so that they don't have to keep getting up, going to the kitchen to get something, getting up, going into the other room to get something different, and so forth. And again, lots of leniency. This is going to take a little getting used to. In the beginning, our online lessons are going to be fairly short because I know our attention span at the beginning is not what it is at the end of the kindergarten year. And we'll assess where the kids are, and we will do what we need to do to make sure our particular children in our class are getting what they need. Okay, parent virtual expectations. To help your child provide a good work area, free of external distractions. Maybe not a lot of noise in the background, not a TV on from a younger sibling in the background while my student is trying to learn. That their device is charged and ready to go each day. Help them get logged into their meeting. We're going to try to do our very best for independence, but in the very beginning, I'm sure it's going to take a lot of adult assistance for the children to get where they need to be, or maybe an older sibling or whoever's at home with them. The next thing is let the teacher do the teaching. If you are sitting right there next to them and giving them answers to my questions or even addressing things that I have been talking about, that's distracting to them, and that's not going to help them be independent and learn. One of the major goals in kindergarten is to help them develop into independent learners. And if they have a parent or an adult or babysitter, whoever sitting right there, basically not letting them explore and learn, then it's not going to work. Obviously, you might need to step in if they're really struggling and can't figure something out where something is. But if I'm asking questions like how many dots, I would prefer if you don't say, let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, let them do the learning and all that. If you have any questions about your child and their focus or how much you're helping, please reach out. We can have a conversation about it. If you're not quite sure if you're helping not enough, too much, just reach out. Refrain from giving them answers, especially when we go on board to do some of the state testing if it is required. We really need that to be independent work for us to fully understand where your child is. When we do the state testing, there's no right or wrong. So what they get is what they get, and that's the only way that I'm going to know what areas they're deficient in, what areas they have strengths in, and I'll know what to teach them. If a parent is helping them through that, I'm not going to really understand what they don't understand, and therefore I'm going to be teaching them at a much higher level than they really should be taught at, and therefore they'll end up with gaps in the end. Check your email and Schoology regularly. Most everything communication-wise is going to be going through Schoology this year, so familiarize yourself with that. I have a whole lot of links and slides at the end of this presentation on that you'll be able to reference back to and learn how to sign up for Schoology, learn how to use it, where to find things, and so on. Oh, help your child to turn in assignments as necessary. For the first 5 weeks, we're going to be turning in paper pencil work. We actually have printed off everything that your child will need for the first 5 weeks, and then we will be collecting those to be determined how we're going to do that. But we thought that was a lot easier because at the kindergarten level, for them to turn something in virtually is setting them up for failure. I just don't see any way independently they can do that in 5 weeks, the first 5 weeks of school. Now, maybe with repeated practice at the end of the year, definitely. But for the first 5 weeks, I think that to reduce stress levels and to make them love learning, we want them to have the easiest, most comfortable situation they can possibly have. So we will refrain from that kind of turn-in policy. If we go past the 5 weeks, that might change. And if your child is struggling to complete anything, please, please reach out. Reach out at any time. I have office hours at the beginning of the day, the end of the day. I will later in this presentation give you my cell phone number that you can feel free to text me or let me know what's going on. We can work together on solving how we can combat the problem, if there is. Okay, Schoology. All right, so through Schoology, this is the CPS designated program that we will be using. Everyone must use Schoology. For those of you who know my students from last year, I used Google Classroom, but now that is no longer a choice. Schoology is it. We need for the students to access that, to access Schoology daily. We are told the district is monitoring if parents are getting on daily to their kids' Schoology account, because we will be posting all kinds of things on Schoology as I'm going to talk about. I have gone ahead and copied everything you'll need for the first 4 weeks of school and education. But if for some reason you spill something on it, it gets lost, I'm going to post all of the pages on Schoology that you can print out as well. More than likely you won't need that, but it's there as a resource because we won't be sending any more of those home since I won't be seeing you other than the initial pickup. On my Schoology, at the very top of the materials page, you will see my Google Meet links. That's how you're going to get in at 8:15 and 12:15. The Google Meet links, you just click on them and you will get into the meeting. And actually, after a few tries, the children probably will be able to do this all on their own. And we will be taking attendance again per district policy at those 2 times. And then also I post Friday updates, newsletters, forms, lessons, all on the Schoology. Anything from me that you will be getting this year will be on Schoology. We're not going to do a lot of the paper pencil send homes. In the past, I've done monthly newsletters like that. Everything will just be posted this year because not knowing the current situation, we're obviously at home for these first weeks. We may be back at school, we may not, we may go back in January. It's just going to be flip-flopped throughout the year as best as I can predict. So my thinking is let's just have one way. We're going to do everything and access everything through Schoology so that we both on your end and my end get in the routine and it's not confusing if we keep flopping back and forth between homeschool, in-school, and so on. PowerSchool. For those of you who have older children, you probably have a lot of experience with PowerSchool. But for those of you who have a first in the district and have never used it before, you're going to get your login information in your supply pickup packet. I have put a ton of information in the bags that you will get at your supply pickup day. Please, please, please make sure you go through it all because if not, I think you might be a little confused on some different concepts that we're going to be doing here. If for some reason you're struggling or you did not get this for whatever reason, contact the main office. We stuffed all of the bags today. I know each and every child that I have on my roster has one. We have 23 children. So at this moment, every child definitely has all the information that they need. Ms. Crawford and I personally stuffed all of the bags. Cincinnati Public School student information is on there. Only Ms. Crawford and I can see that other than you and the office staff. So it's not that everybody else out there can see that. Please, please, please keep the contact information with us up to date. Contact Peggy Ludlum in the office if your phone number changes, you've moved and you have an address correction. Maybe you've decided to take one of your contacts off the list and add a separate person for emergency contacts. please keep us up to date on that information. You will also find in the PowerSchool system academic data, attendance data, graduation progress, and behavior data. All of that is found in the PowerSchool system. And that is passed on from grade to grade to the next year's teachers. They can see everything that's happened consecutively throughout the child's education. CPS technology help videos. This is the main reason I'm posting this on our Schoology page. Okay, Miss Hughes, our wonderful STEAM teacher, has developed a spreadsheet of a plethora of resources for you. That is the top CPS parent remote learning tutorials. She will be adding to this as new tutorials are made. Right now, she has everything except for the iPad tutorials on there as of this moment today. I've added a lot of extra tutorials on here about iPads that she may eventually put into that grid, but they're just not there yet. So I have how to connect to Schoology, how to do it on a mobile, how to, and then CPS technology training for parents. And then this whole page is your children should have received from the that they are to use during remote learning. These videos will show you how to join a Google Meet, general information on Schoology navigation on the iPad, connecting Google Drive to Schoology, and using the QR codes that your child received. In each supply bag, your child should have received a card that has that on it. Communication will all go through Schoology. Attendance, there's a link for that. And my contact information at the bottom. The link for the attendance is if you have an absence you need to report. Click on that link and it will get you there. You can say, my child's not feeling well today, they will not be on. Whatever the situation is, I'm going out of town. You just need to let us know that, and that will go to Peggy and Ann in the office. My contact information, I've listed my email, my school phone, and my cell phone. I always give my cell phone out to parents, especially I think it's necessary this year. For instance, if you're having trouble getting on the Google Meet, you can text me real quick. We're on our way on, we're trying, something's glitching. But I just ask that you be respectful with that. I do have children of my own, so in the evenings, it's family time. I don't mind getting texts up till 9 p.m., but after 9 p.m., I would prefer, unless it's an emergency, that you wait till the next day. Also, before 7 a.m. in the morning. If you call or text and I don't get right back to you, then I promise I will get back to you as soon as possible. My children are involved in sports. They're both in school themselves, so there will come times when I can't get back immediately, but I will do my best to get back within the hour. Okay, please, please do not hesitate to reach out and ask any questions that you may have. Other information, absences, you're going to go on that absence line, or if that's not working for whatever reason, email Peggy at the email given there. Illness, you're going to follow the district COVID and illness policy, which you will be getting in your packets. The district response time is 48 hours to respond to emails and phone calls. I can't remember a time that it's taken me that long to get back to you. If for some reason you have not heard an answer back from me in 48 hours, please reach out again. I promise you it's somehow I did not get the email or message, somehow it got displaced. So please don't take offense to that. I really try to get back as quickly as possible. And if for some reason I haven't, I'd say even 24 hours, if you haven't heard from me, please reach out again. Field trip and money, we're not doing field trips this year, it's my understanding. I left that in there from last year. Water bottles. When your child does come to school, please provide a water bottle. We are not providing water fountains because of the COVID. We need water bottles brought to school with them each and every day so that they have something to drink. If they come without a water bottle, then they will be very thirsty. So please, please, please remember to bring a water bottle with their name on it. Shoes. Please work on tying their shoelaces. I would love for them, once they return to school, to be able to tie their own shoes. With 23 children in the class this year, Ms. Crawford and I cannot go around and tie shoes all day long. It would take us the whole day, and then our instruction would be lacking. Dismissal. It is going to be staggered for in-person, and you'll get more information on that. Social media and photos. If you are doing something with the school, whether it is a class party or we're having a special day out on the lawn and you take pictures, please absolutely do not post those to social media unless it is your child only. Many of our parents have strict guidelines on whether or not they want their children photographed. And if they do not want them photographed, sometimes it's only in certain realms. Other times it's completely photographed. And no one else knows but the teacher and the office what parents want. So we're just blanketly saying, please do not post any pictures of any other children other than your own on social media. Grades are ESP and U for kindergarten, and we will get into more of that later. Birthdays. We do not do birthday snacks because of the many allergies out there. So your child will bring in a book, and we will read the book and sing happy birthday to them. In years past, all cover the book, but based on the COVID, I don't think we're going to do that this year. It depends on how everything pans out this year. But at this point, we're just going to read the book and sing happy birthday to them. Now, while we're at online learning, if any of your children have birthdays during those first weeks, then I'm going to have a parent or some other adult get on our morning meeting and read the book to the class if they choose to. If you choose not to celebrate your child's birthday, that's fine too. All right, for questions. Today, I'm going to be sending a Sign Up Genius home. The Sign Up Genius will be for you to sign up for a time next week for us to meet virtually and answer any questions that you may have based on the slideshow that I've presented today or anything else that you have a question on. And I will do my absolute best to answer the questions. I definitely don't know everything. This is all uncharted waters and we're learning with you. So I will answer your question or find an answer to your question and get back to you if it's something that I'm not sure on. I think it's going to be a great year. It's definitely a little bit of a rockier start, or I should say maybe a start that we weren't predicting, but we are definitely going to have a great year and we're going to make this as fun as possible. Our goal is that your children absolutely love learning and they want to come to school. Again, two-way communication. Please reach out to Ms. Crawford and I at any time that you feel you have a question. No question is too big or small. Anything at all. It can be particularly about the curriculum. It can be about your individual child and their progress. We will feel free to reach out to you when necessary as well, but we want you to feel welcome to reach out to us because we are here as a partner for you or your child. And if you don't reach out to us with concerns, there's a good chance we won't understand or know what your concern is. And there's no way that we'll be able to address it or try to help with the concern if we are not made aware. So please, please feel free, open communication. And I can't wait to see you all next week at the open house. The last thing I'd like to say is you will be receiving a student guide, okay? This is the student guide, and you'll also be receiving a parent one. Please look over these through the weekend or next week before we start on the 31st, because this will give you a lot of information about the district's expectations, students, of parents, and of us as staff. Lastly, I'd like to leave with, again, this is all new uncharted waters for Ms. Crawford and I. If you see areas that maybe we're not doing a great job at, or you see or have recommendations of things and ways that we might be able to do things better, please feel free to give us those. We love constructive criticism. We're new at this. We're trying our best, but there's definitely going to be areas that maybe we fail in, maybe we just aren't great in. So each of you have your own strengths, and maybe they're in areas that ours aren't, and you might be able to give us some pointers or some advice on how we can make this experience better for everyone. So I look forward to seeing you next week. Again, the Sign Up Genius will be going today home after 12 to the emails that we have in PowerSchool. And please, please, I'd like to sign every single family to sign up. If you have a situation where your child is moving between two households, I would really appreciate if you could sign up for one time. Therefore, we all hear the same message, we hear all the same questions and so forth for homes that may be where the child moves between 2 homes throughout the week or whatever. So that's the only thing I would ask, if you could honor that. Each family has 1 spot, and sign up together, work together with the other person to figure out the time that will best work for you. And I look forward to seeing you then. Each family will have a 15-minute slot. So if you could come with any questions or concerns that you have ahead of time, that way we can kind of make the best use of our time. I thank you very much, and I can't wait to see you and your children.